Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining the Run Your Day podcast today. My name is Dan Hafner. Last show for inside of this theme of attention to details is called Attention to Intention. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Run Your Day podcast, where our goal is to expand your focus and perspective on life. This is your daily dose of motivation, mindfulness, and so much more. And now, here to help you take your day back, your host, Dan Hafner.
All right, thank you very much. Today is the Attention to Intention episode. I alluded to this a little bit last time. This is going to be a great show. I have a lot of great content to talk about here. So let's dive right into it. So, attention to intention. This is a phrase that I pretty much coined myself. I'm sure other people have come up with it in the past. I don't claim credit for inventing it. But this is something that came to me over the last several months of starting my meditation journey and learning to pay attention to what your intention is. And what that means is focusing your purpose on what's in front of you. Focusing your purpose on what is in front of you. As we go through our days and we go through our lives, there are a ton of things that come up. There are a ton of things that we are faced with day to day, month to month, year to year. As the day progresses, there are important things that we have to get done, and then there are urgent things we have to get done. There's a book out there, I think it's called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, or Productive People, or whatever it is. And it talks about these tasks that fall into 4 quadrants. There's important but not urgent, urgent but important, non-urgent, not important, and urgent and important. I don't know what they are. they're basically, there's 4 different quadrants, right? There are things that are important, which are, going to work, getting your finances taken care of, making sure your family is taken care of and everything is on point in your home. And then there's the urgent tasks, like, filling up your gas tank, or cleaning up the mess that your kids made, or cooking dinner when you ran out of food, or running out to dinner when you ran out of food. Things that are urgent that come up all the time. I mean, you know what these are. These are the things that come up that weren't expected, that just can throw a monkey wrench in your day. And it's important that we realize when those happen to us and we are prepared to deal with them. Because if we're not, we will veer so far off course from what our original intention was for the day that we're screwed. We lose sight of where we were going, what we were doing, and we end up in the land of just putting fires out all the time. And that is no way to get anything done. For example, when inside of my business, every morning, I take time to think of what is my intention for the day. Even if something small comes up, like I deal with it, I move on. I have such a powerful and clear focus of where I'm going and what I need to do for the day, that these urgent tasks that come up and these fires that come up do not distract me. I am focused. I am laser focused on what I have to do. So that's what you need to do inside of everything else, is determine your intent. Determine your intention and move forward with that clear intention. Be laser focused on what you have to achieve and go achieve it. Despite the obstacles that come up, despite the things that get in your way, despite the things that go wrong. And I'm not just talking about one thing that you're getting done for the day. I'm talking about what your goals are for the year, what your goals are for 5 years from now. Set a clear, definable intention and go get it. There's no other way to go. You're going to get distracted. I believe, I'm going to show a little bit of my nerd side here, but in the Lord of the Rings, there is a great quote that I'm reminded of, where they're just starting their quest, and they say that if you don't know where you're going, you're never bound to get there, or if you don't follow your feet, you'll never end up where you're going. Something like that. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's very applicable to this. if you don't stay firm in what you are doing and where you are going, you will get swept off your feet and you will end up somewhere you never meant to be. This has happened many times to me in my life where I've not had a clear, focused intention and I've wound up doing something completely different that I never meant to do in the first place. There's good things and there's bad things to that. But the fact was I was not focused. I was not intentful. I was not paying attention to my intention. The other thing I want to talk about inside of this topic is multitasking. Multitasking to me is a joke. I think that, you can do multiple things at once, but you're not going to be nowhere near as effective as you would be just doing one thing at a time. At least this is true in my life. I know there are people out there that can multitask, and more power to you. But for the rest of us, multitasking is not something that will get you what you really want. It just won't. You'll be so much better off and so much further ahead if you just stop doing one thing to do another thing and get it done and move on to the next thing. And not just talking about going throughout your day, but if you set 4 or 5 goals at once, you're likely not going to achieve all of them. You need to focus on the most important one first, not the most urgent one. Notice the difference there? The most important one first, not the most urgent one. And you also have to remember not to bite off more than you can chew. There are a lot of people out there that are very ambitious, very go-getters, very just ready to go all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you sometimes need to realize when you have bitten off more than you can chew, because it takes away from your intention. It takes away from what you exactly want to achieve and makes you distracted. It really does. If you set monstrous goals, which I'm saying you should set monstrous goals, but you need to have such a clear intention and focus on getting that goal or you're never going to get it. You set mini goals along the way, set milestones along the way to make sure that you're making progress and getting there, but you're never going to achieve those big, monstrous, hairy goals if you don't have a clear focus and clear intention on how you're going to get there. Focus on the path. Focus on what is next in front of you. We've talked about this attention to details theme all week. Focus on what is in front of you. There's what has happened has happened. What is done is done. What you can control is how you move forward. What you can control is the next action you take. What you can control is your attitude towards the next action and the next day and the next meeting and the next time with your spouse and the next time with your kids. That's what you can control. You can't control what you've done. It's done. It's over. That is it. That's all she wrote. But what you can control is how you move forward and how you are going to choose to respond to things. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. That is true. That is one quote that I have had on my wall since I was a kid. And it is so true. You can control your attitude and your intention in life. You can't control what happens to you all the time, but you can control how you respond to things. And that is what is important. So I challenge you today. Take 5 minutes, take 10 minutes. Think about how can you start applying more attention to your intentions inside of your fitness, inside of your health, inside of your marriage, inside of your job or business. How can you be better focused on your immediate important tasks, not your urgent ones? How can you be more focused on the long-term goals, on the short-term goals too, but the 2 weeks, the months, the quarter goals, rather than what you need to do in the next 5 minutes? Set forth those intentions, get clear, get concise on them, and then pay attention to them. Don't get distracted. If you get distracted, you will not achieve them. It is that simple. It is that simple. Okay? So take 5 minutes. Think about this today. Think about how you can start applying this to your life. If you'd like to leave any comments, I'd be very, very willing to put these on a show and share these with some of our listeners of how you can overcome this deficit that you have to paying attention to your intention. I'm sure we would love to hear your story and your side of this. So please feel free to share. Thank you very much for listening. That is all I have today. We are wrapping up the Attention to Details week here. I will get some new shows out here next week. In the meantime, enjoy your weekend, and we will talk to you next week. We'll have a brand new theme, brand new topics, and we are going to start cranking up the volume on this podcast a little bit, so buckle up. It's going to get exciting. Thank you very much for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.